clothes.
Hi, I'm Paulina Galindo, and welcome to FFS. Tonight we're going to be talking about healthcare in America. Oh no! Yeah, fun times ahead. And I bet after last episode you'd think we'd lighten up a bit. Fuck no, not at all. And I hope you brought your bathing suits because we're going to be jumping right into that shark-infested water. Let's go. Healthcare is strangling our country. The average American spent more than $13,000 in healthcare in 2022. That totals $4.5 trillion of healthcare spending in the US. Let's state that again. The US as a whole spent $4.5 trillion on healthcare in 2022. 13,000 per person is more than any other country. But Paulina, didn't Obamacare fix all that? Oh no, no it didn't. Let's fucking talk about Obamacare. All the way back in 2010, Congress fought over the Affordable Care Act, or as it's colloquially known as Obamacare, or as it should be known as Romneycare. That's right, the big bad healthcare bill that Republicans have fought against tooth and nail. The law that is so heinous that Trump himself swore he would repeal if he gets reelected. Just like he did last time. Obamacare, the law that every Republican has denounced, was originally the brainchild of Republican Mitt Romney while he was the governor of Massachusetts. But that's a story for another day. Anyways, Obamacare was eventually passed and revolutionized healthcare in America. Or so you would think, with Republican talking points like it's socialism, no one will have to work, the country will implode. You would also be forgiven for thinking that it was the end-all, be-all of healthcare from watching commercials like this.
A couple years ago, I ended up in a motorcycle accident. I didn't have health insurance at the time, and now I have a plan that keeps me covered for $9 a month.
Half of my monthly premium is covered with financial help, and knowing I'm covered to go to therapy and fill my prescriptions is huge.
I found a plan for $0 a month. It was a huge sigh of relief.
All plans cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll by December 15th.
Wow, healthcare for $0? That sounds amazing, sign me up. But wait, there's a catch. There's always a fucking catch, isn't there? Yeah. Look at those words under $0 a month, with financial help. Where does that financial help come from, you might ask? Well, there's the kicker. Some of it is through tax credits. So if you're not working, that doesn't help. The rest comes from state-run Medicaid programs. So if you live in a red state, you can kiss that option goodbye as well. During the pandemic, most states were forced to expand Medicaid coverage by the federal government, and those plans that the states had to pick up were also subsidized by the federal government. But those were only temporary measures, and once the pandemic ended, that was it for red states' medical coverage. As soon as they were allowed to, they started kicking people off of Medicaid as fast as they could. Looking at this report from the Texas Tribune, after the federal government rolled back the medical expansions, Texas promptly kicked 1.7 million people off their Medicaid program, most of them for procedural reasons. This mass revocation of medical coverage has caused the SNAP food assistance application spike as families try and figure out how to pay for both food and medical care in Texas. So if those prices shown in the commercial are with financial help that you probably won't get, let's figure out just how much this is going to cost. I have a friend that relied on those pandemic-era Medicaid expansions and was kicked off as soon as those expansions expired. He's 20 years old, no previous health conditions. He's currently unemployed with zero income. Let's see what he gets. $231.66 per month. For the basic coverage, nothing special, just minimum coverage. That was $231.66 per fucking month. That's absolutely insanity. How in the fuck is he going to afford that? Currently, he's just praying that he doesn't get sick. But if he does, he's screwed. And he's not alone in this. In 2022, 38% of Americans put off needing medical care because they fear the cost. 38% may not seem like a huge number, but let's do the math here. Really? You're gonna make me do math again? When I agreed to this show, you didn't say anything about math. Fine. Okay, so let's do some fucking math. 38% of 334 million people that live in America is 127 million people. 127 million is twice the population of Great Britain. Imagine if everyone in the UK had to put off medical treatment because of the cost. Twice. In a year because of the cost. But they wouldn't have to, would they? Because they get government-funded healthcare. But let's drive that home. Okay, shall we? Here's a video of UK citizens trying to guess how much healthcare costs in America.
Inhaler.
$100.
Yeah, you're pretty close. It's a bit more.
120
250 to 350.
for an inhaler.
Yes.
Man, so if you're poor, you're dead.
I wonder if you could tell me how expensive you think calling an ambulance out to your location is in America.
I guess it depends on like where you live. It really does. Is there a price for that?
Yes.
Jeez, $100, $200?
$2,500.
For what? Why? Why?
Cost of childbirth.
Jesus. 50 grand, something ridiculous now.
Yeah, see, I've blown the figures up in your head now, haven't I? Because they're larger. It's the highest, generally speaking, is about 30 grand.
Okay.
Is that reasonable? You haven't?
Not reasonable at all. It's just like now we're on like we're on a benchmark.
$100, $200?
Dollars.
Yeah.
The average is about 10 grand. It can go up to 30,000.
10 grand for a baby.
Yeah, well, I guess. How much is your child worth?
Yeah. What is that, like the same everywhere?
Yeah, the average is about $10,000. Yeah.
That's mad. Oh no, thanks.
That's right. How much is a baby worth to you? Not $10,000. And that's why fewer millennials and Gen Z are having babies at an alarming rate. It's just too expensive. And to make matters worse, because if you thought it couldn't get worse, you are so fucking wrong. To make matters worse, this study found that 1 in 10 Americans had significant medical debt. Yeah, you heard that correctly. 1 in 10. Holy shit. Wait, it still gets worse. Yep, even worse than that. Of those people that had medical debt, 1/3 were in collections. That debt adds up to $195 billion. And you might be thinking, well, Paulina, I don't think that that's really my problem. I have health insurance. That number includes people who thought they also had medical insurance. Because even if you do have insurance, you can still find yourself in serious medical debt, as this poor woman found out.
The doctor came in and said, your ovary is a big hemorrhaging mess right now. We have to take that out.
One of her ovaries was twisting inward, cutting off the blood supply.
It just got to the point where I could barely even breathe.
She was transferred by ambulance to a larger Baylor Scott & White hospital for surgery. At each stop, staff took her private insurance card. Yet a few weeks later, she was told much of her treatment was out of network.
My heart just dropped.
The amount she owed? More than $40,000.
I mean, what is that like for you? I remember crying. I was very upset.
That is horrifying. What the fuck? I really do wish I had a solution, but I don't. Because despite the Republicans running on trying to slash the healthcare you do get, the Democrats have been happy to hang back and let this be a campaign issue instead of doing anything. The sad reality is that we are drowning in healthcare costs, and neither side is willing to help fix this. And with that, I'm Paulina Galindo. Make sure to tune in for our next episode on charter schools. Thank you and good night.
I'm sorry, I do not remember ordering a glass of your opinion. I'm sorry, I forgot the expert